Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Farah, and before I even get into what this video is about, I just wanted to give you guys the biggest apology because this video is currently a year overdue, and it's honestly embarrassing to admit that because I know that I promised you guys that I was gonna film a lot last summer and even over the course of this year, but I think I just had so many things going on that I just really started to put off making YouTube videos. And you know, I'm mad at myself for that, but I'm making a video right now, so I'm so excited to be making this, and I hope you guys are too. So this video is going to be a Q&A, and at the end of my last vlog that I posted, I asked you guys to ask me questions for a Q&A video. So I have a lot of those questions, which I'm super pumped to answer. And then I also had a lot of my friends just ask me some questions that they think people would be interested in hearing an answer to. So some of them are very interesting and like kind of juicy, so I'm really excited to answer those ones. And then there's also some more simple ones, but they're still gonna be fun too. So I really hope that you guys enjoy watching this video, and when you're done, please let me know what you thought, and like it, subscribe, tell your friends, and just help me get it out there. I would appreciate that more than anything. Yeah, so I'm so excited and I really hope you guys like it, so let's get to it. Okay, hi guys. So I have all my questions in my notes right here, so I am just gonna read off the list. But the first one is, what has been the best part of my quarantine? Okay, so I mean, I feel like quarantine, most people can agree, has just been kind of a bummer. I completely understand that it is what we need to do in order to try to keep the country as safe and healthy as possible. But, you know, it's just been a bummer not being able to go out and see friends and stuff. So I'm trying to think what the best part probably is. I have a funny story for you guys. This honestly probably was the best part of my quarantine. So I was eating dinner like beginning of April. And, you know, I had a salad, I was trying to be all healthy, and I was just watching TV, not even paying attention, and me being like the biggest idiot, I put my fork down into the salad, and instead of picking up like a piece of lettuce or anything else that was in the salad, I just picked up nothing, and I wasn't even looking when I brought the fork to my mouth, and all of a sudden I put the fork in my mouth, bite down, and I hear like the loudest cracking noise. And I immediately thought like, oh my God, what did I just do? So I ran to the bathroom to look in the mirror, and of course I had chipped like a quarter of my front tooth off. And I was so bummed out because I knew that all the dentist office were gonna be closed, so I had to go for a long period of time with a chipped tooth. But I'm so happy because last week we found a dentist office that was open and I was able to get it fixed, and I'll try to show you guys. They did such a good job fixing it. I feel like you can't even really tell that it was chipped, but I'm super happy about that. So that was probably the best part of my quarantine. Okay, so the next question is kind of interesting. It is, would you redo high school if given the chance? I think to answer that simply, I would say most definitely not. And don't get me wrong, I have had a million ups and downs throughout high school, and there have been so many different good and bad times. But if I think about my experience as a whole, the good times like truly do outweigh the bad, and all of the different experiences that I have had have really shaped me into the person that I am today, and all of my high school experiences have just made me kind of grow and mature in general. So I feel like if any of you are like looking for advice on how to have the best high school experience, I think the two biggest things I would tell you are, they might sound a little cliche to you guys, but I really think they're so important. And the first one is to never compare yourself to anyone else. And the second one is to try to find a group of people that truly supports you and makes you want to be a better version of yourself. And so to kind of elaborate on that a little bit more for you guys, I think that the first one, to not compare yourself to anybody else is so, so important, because I mean, it's something that we are told to do from when we are so young, and everyone is always like, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. But I feel like that is so much easier said than done for most people. And even speaking from my personal experiences, a lot of you might not know this, but I am highly anxious, and because of that, I've kind of struggled with self-confidence for a majority of my life. And in middle school, and even at the beginning of high school, I was so fearful of being judged by other people. And you know, I kind of just became this like huge people pleaser, and all I wanted to do was try to make everyone happy. But you know, when doing that, I kind of compromised like who I truly am. And I feel like, I mean, it's taken me so long, but I feel like I'm finally at a point now where I've kind of realized that is like such a toxic thing to do, and you just can't compare yourself to other people. And for anyone that still struggles to do that, I just think that, you know, this world is so big, and there's always going to be someone that's better looking than you, more talented than you, more athletic than you, smarter than you. You know, the list just goes on and on and on. So why spend time trying to become someone else where you can spend that same amount of time just focusing on you and embracing like all the amazing qualities and talents that you were personally given? So that is my first piece of advice. And the second one, like I said, to try to find a group of people that supports you. I think that this is so, so, so important. And again, it's another thing that's easier said than done, because a lot of people struggle to find a solid group of friends for a very long time. I'm one of those people. I mean, throughout my life, I had a lot of different issues with friend groups. And I really had a hard time finding people that truly made me feel good about myself and supported and cared about. And I'm so thankful and so lucky to have friends now that are truly so awesome. But it does, having those kind of people in your life and the people that make you want to be good and do amazing things, I think that is so great, because it really, it makes your experiences so much better, especially when you have those kind of people to share all the good and bad times with. What are some of your funniest / weirdest kiss experiences? All right, so I am a very open person. I'm gonna be like pretty honest about this stuff. And a little disclaimer, I'm not in any way trying to like be mean or offend anybody that I have kissed. I'm gonna talk about 3 different experiences, and I just think they're like hilarious, so I'm in no way trying to be rude. And also, I'm not going to expose anyone. If any of you guys are like interested in guessing who these people are, then feel free to do that, but I don't want to expose anyone because I feel like that would be kind of mean. So anyway, the first experience that I'm gonna talk about is my first kiss, because I feel like that you know, like the experience of a first kiss is just one that a lot of people can relate to. Is just highly uncomfortable and very awkward and weird. I was on a boat with this boy, and we were going to an island in my town called Browns Island. He beaches the boat, and we both get out of the boat and we start walking up this path to go further up onto the island. And he's walking ahead of me, and all of a sudden just stops and like turns around and gives me like the most serious look, and I was like, what is happening? I can't even say this with a straight face, guys. It was so uncomfortable. He just like, he looks at me and goes, Farah, are you ready for this absolute magical moment? And I, like, thinking about this story now, I don't know why I didn't just get back in the boat and like drive away as fast as I could. And not to mention, after, it literally felt like a suction cup to my face. But anyway, later on it gets better. We walk up this path and we're sitting on this rock, and all of a sudden he just like gets up and he's like, I should go check on the boat. So 45 minutes pass, he's still not back. Not to mention, you guys, I had like my phone and other stuff just on the boat, and I'm like this little 8th grader, so confused, no idea what's going on. I thought for sure that he had totally dipped on me and just left. So I was like freaking out, panicking. I had no idea what was going on. And then all of a sudden he comes up from like within the bushes, like I'm not kidding you, soaking wet, like drenched in water. And I looked at him and I'm like, did you take a swim? Like, where the hell were you? And he's like, oh, you know, someone just like pushed my boat in the water and it went away. And I'm like, excuse me, what? Like, kind of like explain that a little more, please. And he's like, no, someone like actually like pushed my boat into the water and it was started like floating away. And I was like, so you swim out to get it? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, why didn't you come back and get me? Like, I could have tried to help you. And he's like, no. Like, someone just pushed the boat in. I had to go get it. I was so confused. It was so weird. But anyway, moving on from that, second experience, and I was hanging out with this boy. We had hung out once before, I think. But it was, so I think it was our second time hanging out. But it was, I don't know, something was just off. I could tell, like, it seemed like we both weren't really feeling it. I kind of had a feeling that it was going to end shortly after. But anyway, so we're kissing, you know, and I think that he had had a lot to eat before he came to hang out with me. And so all of a sudden, like, he just lets out like the loudest, nastiest burp. And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, like I was about to start laughing like hysterically, because something like that, like it was gross. But like, it was just like, I'm a kind of person that finds that stuff like so flippin' funny. So I'm like over here trying to keep a straight face, because I knew, like, I felt so bad, because I knew that if I had ever burped when making out with someone, I would feel so embarrassed. So I couldn't even imagine how he was feeling, and I felt horrible. But so I'm just sitting there like trying to keep a straight face, and he's like, I'm so sorry about that. Like I didn't mean for that to happen. And I was like, you're fine. Like, no worries. It's all good. I was just like trying to like make the kid feel better, but I felt so bad. So yeah, that was pretty weird. And then third experience, this one was just funny because it's just like me being like so flipping clumsy, and the kiss was not bad whatsoever with this person, but I think it was my second time hanging out with this person too. We'd hung out once before, but this time I went to a party with him and his friends. So I was still trying to like make a good impression too, because I thought that this person was so out of my league. Like, I had no idea why he wanted to hang out with me. But so we're at this party and we go into this room, and it was so dark. I think that I took my phone out with my flashlight to kind of see if there was a light in the room anywhere. And not to mention there were a ton of tools and like wood and stuff. Like, I think it was kind of like a wood shop sort of in this person's house. So I turn my flashlight on, I see a light hanging from the ceiling and like a string hanging down. So I'm like, sick, this is awesome. I grab the string super hard, the whole light falls, breaks, like this like loud crash. And I'm just standing there like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like, I'm in someone's house, I just broke their light, I feel horrible, I don't know what to do. And I also just embarrassed myself in front of this boy that I'm like low-key trying to impress. So we both just look at each other and start like laughing hysterically. And then I don't even think this person knows that this happened, because I was like so embarrassed after the fact, that while we were making out, I smacked my forehead, like right in the center of it, on this like wooden plank that was like hanging from like the top of the room. And it hurt so bad, but I didn't want to completely embarrass myself again, so I'm like holding it in. Oh my God, it was just so funny and uncomfortable on my part. But anyway, so those are my top 3 weird kiss experiences. Next question is, what are my summer plans? All right, but I'm hoping, you know, that I'll be able to spend a lot of time with my friends and get to go out more, because that would just be so awesome. But job-wise, and other exciting stuff, I guess. My brother and I lobster together during the summer. We have like a little lobster boat, and we go out a few days a week and on the weekends to haul some traps, and then we come back in and sell the lobsters. So that's really fun to do with him. And I really enjoy it as a part of my summer. And also, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do some modeling stuff. I haven't been able to because of Corona, just because there haven't been many companies shooting, which is understandable. So I really hope that I'll be able to do more of that this summer if it's possible. And also the most exciting thing, something that I'm so pumped for, I am actually going to be recording music this summer, hopefully, if the studios are open, because before this all went down and before quarantine began, I was going to go into a studio and start recording music to like make like a small album to kind of get started. So I'm so hopeful that I'll be able to do that this summer. You know, it's so crazy for me to even talk about it out loud, because for most of my life this has been like such a dream. I've always wanted to be able to record my own original songs and release it on like Spotify. So, you know, when I'm able to do that, I'm most likely gonna be promoting it on my Instagram like constantly. So I'm sorry guys, beware of that, but I'm so excited. So I really hope that I'm able to do that. And yeah, so those are my summer plans as of right now. Okay, this question is, what is my dream job? All right, so don't laugh guys. My dream job ever since I was like 6 was to become a famous singer and make it on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit. But you know, as I've gotten older, I've kind of realized that that is a little like unrealistic, and I most likely won't be able to do that. So to think more realistically, I know for a fact that whatever I do, I want to be able to help and inspire people in some way. And because of that, I'm very interested in like becoming a psychiatrist maybe. And for anyone who doesn't know what a psychiatrist does, it's basically a doctor that kind of talks to people about all of their issues and problems, and just helps them become better. So it's kind of like a therapist, but like one step up from that, because psychiatrists can like prescribe medication, so you have to go to med school and stuff. But I don't know, I love kind of talking to people about what they're dealing with, what they're going through, and try my best to help them succeed in the future. So that's something that I'm definitely interested in. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Anything can change. Like I said, I'm only 16, so you never know. But yeah. Have you ever been rejected by anyone? And if so, how do you deal with that? Okay, so to simply answer that question, yes, I have been rejected many times. It is an awful feeling, and I think that most people that have ever been rejected can relate to me on that one. If you've never been rejected, then go off. Good for you. But it truly does. It just sucks. I feel like that's the best way to put it. But you know, over the past few years, I feel like I've kind of learned like the best ways to deal with it. So I'm going to share that with you guys. And the first piece of advice that I would give is to pick yourself up off of the ground quickly after being rejected. And the second thing I would say is to never be so angry at or place full blame on the person that rejected you. And I'm kind of going to go into more detail about both of those things. But so the first one, to pick yourself up off the ground quickly, is like by far so important. And you know, I mean, take a night for yourself. I do recommend that. Eat your favorite food. I normally go for like an entire box of extra toasty Cheez-Its. And then also try to put on a movie that's like gonna make you laugh or keep you happy. I normally would watch like Step Brothers or Ted, just because those are like two of my favorites. But yeah, but then soon after that, you really need to begin the moving on process. Because if you don't, you're just gonna stay so sad, and your mind will be in like this vicious cycle where you're just replaying moments and thoughts over and over again. And you're thinking to yourself like, oh, why don't they like me? Like, what did I do wrong? And like, you just can't do that, because it's so unhealthy, and no one deserves to think like that. So you have to just get up, move on, and go find the next person who's gonna be better for you and make you so much happier. And it really is so important. Like, when you're going through this whole process, you cannot forget that you are awesome. Like, just because someone doesn't want to be with you does not mean that no one in this world is going to want to be with you. Like, I'm such a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and like that there's a person out there for everyone. I truly believe that. And it's like, you know, it's gonna work out better for you in the long run, because since this person doesn't want to be with you, it just means that you can learn from that experience and move on, be patient, because there's someone great out there waiting for you that is gonna love you and support you and have that 50-50 relationship with you. So yeah, that is so, so important. And the second piece of advice, like I said, is to never be so angry at or place full blame on the person that rejected you. And you know, obviously there's so many different circumstances. Like, say if you've been talking to someone for a really long time, you guys have hung out a lot, and then you find out that they were like just completely leading you on and never wanted anything serious, then you kind of have a reason to be more mad at them. But if you've just been Snapchatting someone and like talking a little bit, and you ask them to hang out and they just like kind of say no, then you can't really be that mad. Because, you know, I mean, it's always like I say, like it does totally suck, and I totally understand that. But it's like, in a way, the person that's rejecting you is doing you a favor, because it's like a way for you to stop thinking about them all the time and start focusing more on yourself and like looking forward to what's coming in the future, instead of just dwelling on them when they're not spending as much time thinking about you. And you know, why would you ever want to be with someone that's not gonna meet you halfway in a relationship? Because that's like the key to a happy relationship and being happy with someone. You need someone that is gonna like give you that 50-50. So yeah, I think that is my best advice for dealing with rejection. Hi guys, so I was just editing this video and I realized that I completely forgot to film an outro. So this is gonna be the outro, but I just wanted to say thank you so much again, especially if you watched the entire video. I worked really hard on this video, and I hope that you were able to get something out of my answers to the questions. I hope that you found some of them interesting. And yeah, look forward to more good content coming in the future. I have a lot of ideas, and I'm gonna start vlogging again. So yeah, I'm so excited for that. Thank you guys so much again. You're all awesome. Bye.